would you like to have a chat to them first?
This got really loud all of a sudden. No, you guys can ask questions or whatever. We'd love to answer anything you guys need, whatever.
Okay, we've got a question down the front here. Hi, welcome to Australia first off.
Hi, thank you.
Well, over the years you've done quite a bit of different characters from obviously Logan all the way up until, people with supernatural powers. Where are you kind of leaning more towards? Like, would you rather play someone in a science fiction thing or a normal kind of person?
Yeah, well, I don't know, I guess it's always fun to play somebody with superhuman abilities just because it is, And then when you don't have superhuman abilities, you can put them there anyway, even in your normal characters, which is pretty cool, like if you're intelligence-wise or otherwise. And I think that in your favorite actors, like you like to see the guys that do that. They put the extra thing there, even if it's not written in the script. Yeah. Okay, one down. Yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
At the end of season 2, just wondering, do you know why Duncan moves to Mollywood? I know it's weird, but I go on holidays there all the time, so.
To where?
Mollywood in New South Wales.
Yeah.
You know, alright. I think it would be a question for Rob by the sound of it.
Yeah, he'd probably be good, but I don't know.
That's okay. What about ask?
Do you have another one that I can answer?
What about no?
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
That doesn't count, that one. I can
Hi.
I've always been a huge fan of Veronica and Logan together. I just want to know, what point do you think Logan went from hating Veronica or disliking her to all of a sudden have a love interest into her?
Yeah, I think it sort of came because they told us that we had to. It was like, because we enjoyed, the scenes that we got to play where we were trying to best each other and stuff like that. And then they just said, you guys are going to be together. And we were like, are you kidding me? Like, no way. They're like, yeah, you better start warming up because it's going to happen. And, because it was never written that way, which is cool because it's sort of like sometimes when you read a pilot script or whatever, like the first script of a show, you can tell like this guy's not the boyfriend, but he's gonna be the boyfriend. And there's just nothing. So it's really out of left field. And even when we were watching we were getting ready to make the movie, Rob had rewatched the episodes and he said, that part where you kissed, man, he had had a couple of drinks anyway. But he said that part where you kissed, it was just so earned. And he said he rewatched it again and again. And he had had a couple of drinks, as I said. All you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, over here. Hi. I know that there was a big gap between the movie and the TV show. And when you first read the script for the movie, did you think that was what would happen to them in 7 years, 8 years' time? Is that the idea of what you thought would happen to Logan? I just mean like going into the Navy and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought that was cool that he did do that because it was almost like a soap opera for his life, like just everybody died and everybody that he thought was related to him wasn't and all kinds of stuff. So it would have been a dark place had he gone darker than where he was, so I'm glad that they put some sort of discipline in his life so he could kind of be on the upswing. And at the same time, I'm always hopeful that there's a cliff after that to go down so you get to play the two. So hopefully more story will be that.
Hi, my name is Leah. I was just wondering what your favourite episode was of Veronica Mars. And why?
What's that?
And why?
Why? I I think the one where Weevil and I go to detention was pretty cool. Because we got to, I don't know, I just enjoyed the scenes with him because have any of you guys met him? He's really cool. He was like a gangster, and he was the little boy in a Bronx Tale with De Niro and stuff like that. So he grew up but he was like, I'm a gangster, I'm a tough guy, but he's just such a level guy. I'm like, give me a break, man, come on. So just to have that banter back and forth was really great with those scenes. And I also like Eccles Family Christmas and the two finales, season 1 and 2. I think.
Cool, thank you.
Hi, I was wondering if you're hopefully going to be in all of the next project, Dick Castle Chris Weatherstones, if you're going to be in those.
Yeah, from what I understand, I don't know too much, is there'll be like little 10-minute episodes of some kind. And if you've ever met Ryan, it should be very entertaining. And I know that there's a secret handshake involved, which I was just told about, so I'll find out what that's about. But I think we'll be shooting that sometime in August. Yeah. Yeah, at least for a handshake at least.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering if you still keep in contact with the cast, like you still friends with them after filming?
We've gone on skiing vacations together, and a lot of us have kids now, and bought Kristen some fruit trees for her birthday, so we have those planted at her house and stuff like that. So it's a very special cast, and I don't think anything that of any cast that I've been with, I think that those are the tightest sort of friends or whatever. We all get along very great. Yeah, just good.
Hi, Jason. I was just wondering, what was the most difficult scene during Veronica Mars that you had to film?
Probably the tortured scene, like where he's getting tortured, like with the hands or whatever. Yeah, I was practicing that in the trailer for a long time, thinking that it was going to be terrible. And then I did it, and I thought it was terrible, and then I saw it, and it was okay. Please go.
Hi. So you made a movie several years later for Veronica Mars. If you had a choice, would you make a movie for Moonlight to sum up the whole story?
If Alex can get off his surfboard. That was just also just a pleasure, and it's such a great character to play too. So obviously, once you get that Ferrari back, make a sequel. It would be great, I just think, I don't know. Veronica was very special that way, so I don't know that I'll ever get another chance to do something like that. It'd be cool.
Hi, Jason. I'm a big fan. Anyway, yeah, this is awkward. As you see, Logan himself was a rebellious teenager. Could you relate to him in some way? Like in high school, were you sort of like that, or were you more reserved or casual, I don't know?
Can you give me that again? It was a question like if Logan...
Logan was rebellious, you didn't say. In your high school years, were you like him? In that sort of sense?
So I like him?
Yeah.
Like Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Well, I liked his intensity, you know what I mean? That was something that I always enjoyed playing, just because it's fun. And really looking at people, when you're talking to them. And then whatever I do, damn it. I saw people looking back there, I was hoping they weren't doing that. Yeah, so I just enjoyed the character and I don't know. Yeah, all the emotional stuff or whatever I put into him. And I guess like whatever thoughts you have about life can then influence your characters. So the more that you can grow in that way, you can start putting that stuff in your work, and I think it's cool when I see other actors do that.
Hi. I was just wondering if you could guest star in any other TV show, what would that be?
Like Game of Thrones. That was a quick one.
Hi, Jason. In regards to Logan's character and what happens to him and his personality, was there anything that you would have liked to see happen to Logan, or anything you wanted to change, something you wish never happened to Logan?
I don't know, I'd always like wanted to do a military movie, so it was funny that you wound up like that. And I don't know, just anytime he gets into trouble, I like to do that kind of stuff, because it's just, when he's with, you know, Veronica or whatever, he can't really be getting into too much trouble, because then she wouldn't be with him. But then you wouldn't have a love story, so to go back and forth between the two is great in whatever way. So hopefully, again, there's a cliff that you can dive off of and then fall in love again, and then making the movie. So.
Hi, Jason.
Mine's loud.
Thank you so much for coming to Australia, and please tell Kristen and Rob and Ryan and all of them that we'd love to see them too. My question is, can you settle a debate between my best friend and I, who's down the front? We're worried that Logan has gone into the Navy because it's easy then to make movies without Logan and say, oh, he's just on a ship at the moment. Are you planning, if there is another movie, would you like to come back for that?
You mean like would he be in a movie?
Yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of Skype.
Yeah.
What I was told,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd be happy to be part of any projects
I
though?
think so, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Otherwise we'll do the Moonlight movie.
Thank you.
Hi, Jason.
Hello.
I had no idea, but I love Kingdom Hearts, the video game, and I had no idea that you played the role of Terra. He's one of my favourites. Yeah, I just wanted to know, what was it like playing Terra in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep?
Yeah, it was cool. I'd never done like a voiceover project before, so it's just weird that you're like, they give you like the beats before, beep, 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 perfect. Yeah, next one. So you just kind of, it's interesting, you know, and try to make your words match the lips of what's already created, because the game had already been developed, I believe, in Japan or whatever. So just to try to sync everything was really fun. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you.
Hi, Jason. So I know that Kristen expressed some worries about stepping back into Veronica's shoes. How did you feel going back to being Logan after such a long break?
I think it was always something I understood that night. I don't know how else to say it. Like once you ride a bike, I guess, like sort of like once you've done that, like at least you have all the experience to draw on. You still remember all that, so you don't have to create a character newly. You know, so I just read like Veronica and I was like, oh, and I started like feeling stuff, you know? And then Rob's writing is so great and funny that like, you just got it, you just get it, you get that guy. I don't know, it's pretty easy, and I think for Kristen too, she's lying, she's very good.
Hi, Jason. Down the back.
Hello.
Hi. I was wondering, were there any pranks played on set, and who was the biggest prankster?
Nobody ever pranked me. I think they thought I was too serious. But Kristen would like saran wrap the toilets, you know, like with the cat. So they pee in their changing room. That happened. We once, like, I think Rob took us out for dinner. This was the first time before we got picked up. So it was he'd only done the pilot, so he hadn't made a lot of money from the show anyhow. And we put like an extra zero on his bill, so it's probably like 10,000 instead of 1,000 or something like that. And he just sent, damn near had a heart attack. That was a good one.
Hi. I'm just wondering, when you were first told about the Kickstarter idea and the goal of $2 million, did you think that that goal would be reached, and did you ever imagine that you would exceed that goal?
I think, to be honest, nothing was real to me at that point. Like, just, I think every year or two, we were told, like, you know, Rob would say, keep your schedule open, we're going to make a movie. We were like, awesome, man. And after like 3 or 4 years of that, we were like, dude, whenever you get a chance, we're there, you know? And then, I think he told us one day, like, you know, next month we're putting it up, something like that. And it was even shelved for like a year and a half, like the little video we made, Kickstarter one. And then as it turns out, that story, or people, they still weren't going to make it. And all the people at Warner Brothers, like that little video went viral through the halls of Warner Brothers. And the executive said, like, why aren't we doing this? And then they finally did. And I think I had forgotten about it, and all of a sudden it's like getting these texts in, you know, just like, you're at $750,000, and then Kristen called me that night, and she's like, Jay, can you believe this? And then the next day, like, they were in Time Magazine, and all this kind of stuff. It was a new way movies could be made, and my mother-in-law was like, it gives the little people power. It was really cool.
Thanks.
G'day. I've got a question from one of my followers on Twitter. They want to know what your spirit animal would be, and then also what Logan's would be.
What are my options, dude?
Sorry?
What are my options, a spirit animal?
Whatever your options would be, I guess.
Does a dire wolf count?
Yeah, of course it does. You already said you want to be in Game of Thrones, so.
I didn't hear that?
You already said you wanted to be in Game of Thrones, so that does count.
Oh. I don't know.
Is that yours or Logan's?
Wait, what's that?
Is that yours or Logan's?
Oh, I guess, I was joking, really. But I think I'd probably be a fox. Yes?
What would it say?
What?
What would the fox say?
I think Logan would be a wolf. Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Good enough. All right. Got through that one. That was tough.
Hello. How are you? I just have a question. What do you prefer, voice acting or normal acting?
I think they're both cool in their own way. Like, voice acting for sure, because you don't have any attention on what you look like, because there's no camera or whatever. You're just going like, and if you probably saw yourself, you'd be like, oh my god, it's so bad. But you can just do whatever you want to put a little piece of the voice there. But film acting is rad. If somebody's actually there and you get it back, you know, there's a physical world that you can deal with and stuff like that. Yeah. Voice acting is so free, for sure.
So both equally?
What's that?
So both equally or?
Oh, equally, yeah. I mean, I'm an actor, so I guess working with other people, but then the voiceover stuff is cool because you can be so free and do different voices and accents and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi.
Oh god, where are you?
That's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hi. Just wondering, when you were with Joseph in Moonlight, were there other aspects of the character you wanted to develop or find out about him?
I mean, anytime they got into like those bloodlines, that was kind of interesting. Like, where do you come from and what influences you? I think that would have been a cool thing to get into. You know what I mean? Like, who was the guy who made me, or you know, is he probably European of some kind, or whatever. Just to get into that, because it's just interesting, all that stuff. I think. Yeah, go ahead. What am I?
I was just wondering, I'm interested in Amelia.
Oh god.
Your favourite line would be out of the Vodka Masters?
I don't remember the exact line, but it was when I told Weevil, like, the property values might drop if anybody catches you with a leaf blower or a screamer. That was brutal, man. That's so funny. Yes. Yes.
Hi. Hello. How did you feel when season 3 was cancelled from Run From Us?
To be honest, I don't really remember. But one of the worst things is getting your show canceled. Like, it's the worst. For Moonlight, I did like just like for those of you who don't know, it was like only like 17 episodes. It was like a vampire show. And that one, because we didn't get to do so much of it, I remember exactly when I got the call, and it was just devastating. Brutal, you know, because you don't really have to say anything. And Veronica, like, we had such a great fan base. Like, I mean, maybe not numbers-wise, but it was like, it meant something to people. And so when it was canceled, it was just like, I don't know. It wasn't really finished for anybody, you know. So that was, you know, and they tried to do the FBI thing, and it was like, yeah, you might be in it, but you might not. We don't know, but we're already moving forward, and you're just like, whoa, what's happening? That was kind of, yeah. But then Joel Silver called me. He's like, "You're being a vampire. Come on, kid, you're in my show." I was like, "All right, dude, it's cool."
Hi. Going back to Game of Thrones, if you were to be a character, what would you be? And you can't be a dragon. As much as you would like to be.
I'm really bad with the names of them.
Do you
But
reckon you
any Stark would be acceptable for me.
Alright.
They're also like noble and strong. Really cool. Yeah, it's cool guys. And I die alive.
I'll accept it anyways.
Jason,
Thank you.
what got you into acting? And if you weren't an actor, what would you be doing?
That's a great question. I have identical twin brothers who are younger than me, like by a year and a half, and I have identical twin sisters that are 4 years younger than me. So I got in it because of them, and there was a show on called Growing Pains that was on a long time ago. My little sisters were the girl on that for a season, and none of them were acting, and I'm the only one left. So I think I got into it just from them, because they could use one of them for 3 hours a day, the other one for 3 hours a day, and they get 6 hours of work with one kid, or it looks like the same kid. And then what would I be doing? I don't know. Probably helping people in some aspects, you know, and I still try to do that, and I truly feel like there's so much going on in the world that I kind of look at acting sometimes and go like, what am I doing, you know, like, but at the same time, you are helping people and, like, you know, raising their emotional state and stuff like that, so that's really cool. But probably stopping war or something like that. I don't know, something like that. Providing relief, truly, not some little thing, but a big thing. Yeah. Got dark for a second, guys. Sorry about that.
Kristen proved with Frozen that she has a really good singing voice. If Rob Thomas came to you and said, "Hey, we're going to make a fun master school," you wouldn't be into it?
It'd be like that voiceover acting. I'd be like this, and somebody else would be singing for me. Now, I could probably sing if I worked on it, whatever. But yeah, Kristen has an amazing voice. She'll sing a couple little tunes here and there every once in a while. And just be like, man, it's great. And even like Amanda Seyfried has a great voice, and she did a $1 billion movie as well. Crazy. Maybe I'm next.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm really enjoying the romance between Logan and Dick, and I'm wondering how much of that is down to the writing, which is obviously awesome, but how much is also you and Ryan and your relationship working together on this radio series and everything?
He's so much cooler than I am. I'm serious. Like, he's unbelievable. We took him to I took him up like water skiing in Sacramento with Kyle Gallner actually, and we went to my aunt's 40th birthday party, and Ryan's like the life of the party. And like within 10 minutes, he's got all these 40-year-old doing this. And it was like the best time of their lives. So that's sort of Ryan in a nutshell. And yeah, so I mean, I just enjoy his company very much. He's just such a decent guy too. So we get along that way as well.
Hi.
Thank you.
I was wondering, what was your favorite part of working on Ringer?
Probably getting punched by Sarah Michelle Gellar. I don't know, I think probably watching that show, like this, at every commercial break, it was like the end of the world was happening in the episode. Like I was like, oh my gosh, how are they going to get out of that? And then 20 minutes, I'm like, no. It's kind of crazy that the writers could create so much drama every little break. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Hi, I was watching TV the other night and was watching Big Impact, and I just happened to go, oh my god, when you came on, I didn't realise you were in it. So I'm just wondering, what was your favourite role outside Veronica Mars?
Outside Veronica Mars?
Outside Veronica Mars.
Probably the Moonlight thing, and then like on a guest star or whatever, I got to work with Tim Roth on one episode of Lie to Me. I see a lot of people shaking their heads, some running for the exits. But I got to play a serial killer in Lie to Me, and that was really cool because when I looked back, I looked at Tim Roth, he looked back at me, and I was like, whoa, cool, it's going to be fun. He's great.
Hello, happy 4th of July for yesterday. What was the... Oh, you can't hear me?
For some reason, like, I think all the speakers are pointing that way, so I can't hear, but happy 4th, thank you.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, what was the most rewarding thing you got out of the Veronica Mars series?
I think, like, I had just come out of high school and acting class, and I was trying everything I knew about acting in this one character, so I think that it kind of filled up the character, and even, like, and you guys, like, I would put something there, like, as I'm walking off the camera, like, with a thought, and they're like, he was thinking that. And I was like, yeah, I was. You guys saw that? So it was cool to, like, fill up a character with everything new and make it so emotional and ups and downs, and that's how I was taught, so it was like my sandbox that I got to play. Yeah.
Hello. I just was wondering, when you first did the pilot for Veronica Mars, did you expect the success that it had, including a movie later on?
No, but I didn't care at the same time because I was so excited about acting, and like in the middle of that pilot, I got to do an episode of Cold Case, so I was like working a lot, and like I just loved it. Just loved it. I was just so excited, man. And then they would like work. You got to understand the pressure on a pilot is so much, not from an actor, but like all the producers are like behind it for every single take, and there's so much riding on it for them. You know what I mean? It's like, so like, you know, when they come up to you and say, we're writing you another scene because, you know, we want to see this or whatever, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And after you finish a scene, Rob would come up and be like, so good. All right, dude. All right. It's like 6'4", so really cool. So just being in the enjoyment of that was really cool. Yeah.
Hi, Jason.
Yeah.
How are you? Over here.
Thank you.
You made a guest appearance on Supernatural. How did you feel about that?
Felt pretty good about it. I just remember one time, there's two guys on that show, for those of you who don't know. One of them's my height and one of them's a giant. And I hit his shoulder one time. I was like, hey, buddy. They have a semi that follows them with a gym. They got like a full truck. So they're like the most solid guys I've ever worked with. And it was cool, man, because they obviously have probably one of the biggest fan bases in the world. You know what I mean? So just to be a part of that was really cool. A lot of people follow that show and have to be a part of it.
Yeah, it was quite awesome to see you on there, really.
Cheers.
Thank you.
This was kind of covered before from the Kickstarter project, but were you surprised with how many fans you had?
Very much, yeah. Very much. And then I still feel like we would never really get recognized on like the street and stuff like that. And I feel like after the movie, there's like 3 or 4 times as many fans now. It's crazy. I could have watched the movie on the way here on the airplane. It was on.
It was really awesome and we were really excited.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. But, yeah, just cool.
Hi, over here. Hello. I was wondering, just in general, as an actor, how do you remember all your lines?
I think you remember it by, not by the lines, but by the emotion of what's happening. So like, you know, you say that and that influences that thought. And you always have an idea of what you're going to say before you communicate it. You know what I mean? Like, if it's cold, you feel cold and you say it. And bad acting, I think, is where you're saying things that you don't feel. You know, so, and, you know, you just memorize it by the emotions of what's happening in the scene. I don't know, that's how I was.
Cool, thanks.
You got it.
Hi, I'm Alexia. I was just wondering, a question for you. A question for you as a person. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you see yourself still acting? Do you see yourself expanding it?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking. Probably both. Yeah, family and acting. And then my dad he's like a big business guy. I'm sort of like second fiddle, to be honest, to my dad. He's a big business guy. And he's got a company that's a full education program for kids like ages 2 to 6. So I do what I can to help that, because I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. That is really going to change things. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi.
Hey.
I was wondering, have you read the Veronica Mars book that came out after the movie?
No. Not yet.
Disappointed.
Too much Skype. That's what I heard. It's like, No, I'll probably just wait a little bit and keep it kind of fresh. Yeah. Did you like it? I heard it was good. I'm glad it was good. What's that? Oh. I heard they're going to write another one too. Yeah.
Veronica Mars was like such a mystery all the time. Did you guys get to know who committed the crimes, like in Philly or before? Like it was on the show. Like obviously you got to read the script, but did you get to know at the start of the series or?
Can you give me that again?
Veronica Mars was obviously like famous for its detective, law stuff and mysteries. Did you guys get to know who committed the major art crime before, like a long period of time before?
Yeah, no, we never knew. We would always be asking, Kristen, and they'd be like, no. But I think they knew at the beginning of even season 1 that it was going to be my dad or whatever. We didn't know until the last episode when they gave us the script. I think it was the fastest script I ever read.
Were you shocked when it was Cassie? Yeah.
What's that?
Were you shocked in the season finale? I think when it was Cassie who blown up the bus, or?
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's alright. Were you shocked in the second season when it was Cassie who blown up the bus?
No, we didn't know. He didn't know. No, he didn't know. I'm serious, man. They kept everything really kept the lid on pretty good. Because Kristen's tough. And she couldn't find it out.
Hi. So Kristen's real life husband, Duck Shepherd, was in the Veronica Mars movie.
Terrible guy.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. So were you concerned with his appearance in the movie that potentially he presented a more legitimate romantic interest for Kristen than you did?
That move was pretty good, I gotta say. No, he's just the funniest guy, honestly, that you could ever meet. Like him and Ryan together. It was on Warner Brothers dime, by the way, but they loaned us their plane. It wasn't you guys that flew us all around the world for the premieres, but we got to fly together, and listening to those two talk, I was in pain. It was so funny. So yeah, I just knew he'd bring a lot of into the behind the scenes stuff. It was just great. It was just like so funny. I was a little worried. Yes. You want a mic?
No movement.
The question was about Kristen and slots. Was it a surprise to me, or did I know about it? It was a total shocker, to be honest. I thought it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Yeah. Yeah, again, Dax right in the middle of it. And a slot, you know? Amazing. Not even a dialogue. All right. Yeah.
Hi. Who was your favorite guest star to work with on the show?
On the Veronica show? As a guest star. Probably Jane Lynch was pretty cool. You know, we had a couple of guys though. You know, Chastain before we knew who she was. That's cool. I think like my favorite guy. He was in a couple episodes and two different characters. It was James Jordan. He played Lucky. And who else? Yeah. But he was so cool because he showed up and he was like doing all this like weird, cool stuff. And I was like, dude, it's so cool. Like my kind of stuff. I like, you know. Kristen's like, you guys are just the same. Yeah. Awesome.
Hi.
Yeah.
I want to know how you felt about Team Kids.
I love Chris. I love his. But they're meant to be together. Yeah, he's just such a nice guy. I know that even like in the movie, like some people told Rob, they're like, you have to like cut Chris's scene because it looks too sad. Like people are gonna start voting for him, and Rob's like, no. It's a tough decision she has to make, you know. So I thought he played it very, very well. Almost got me. He almost got me.
Hi, Jason.
Okay.
What do you love most about being in Australia?
I love all the activities you guys do. Like I'm from LA, you know, so I went go-karting yesterday and I'm going on like maybe a moto race this weekend. And I just love like being outdoors and like I've yet to meet an Australian I didn't like. So just you people. Yeah.
Hey man.
Whoa.
I know I don't look good today.
All right.
I just wanted to know what your favorite movie is and why.
Favorite movie? Probably Crash.
Nice. Good movie.
Everybody ever see Crash? Fantastic. And Jerry Maguire.
From Perth to come over and see you here, but we wanted to know what your weirdest fan experience has been.
This is pretty weird. I don't know. I don't have a weird one, I guess, but somebody pulled up in an Xterra one day, said, will you sign my car? So I think she had gotten next era because of the show, and I thought that was pretty cool. I'm glad he signed the wheel. It was cool. Yeah. It was, of course. Can you imagine next era in like gray? It's horrible.
Yeah. Hi. I was just wondering, of all the directors of all time, who would you like to work with?
Probably Ed Zwick.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I like his movies a lot. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. There's a lot of them, you know. Abrams would be cool.
Hello. Hi. Can you try an Australian accent?
If you give me something to say, you say it and I'll say it back.
I love you, Veronica.
I don't even know what she said. I love Logan forever. I love you, Veronica. I love you, Veronica. Just keep it subtle, not too overdone. That was it. That's all I got.
Hi. I'd like to know what your guilty pleasure is. Like food, show.
Eating chocolate is just the best. Eating chocolate. And watching Game of Thrones? I don't know. While eating chocolate. It's a great question.
Hi.
Hi.
Now that you've been in the head of Logan, what if your daughter brings someone like him home? Okay, get a Coke. Now that you've been in the head of someone like Logan, if your daughter wants someone like him home, how would you cope?
Probably something like that. But he means well. I don't want to think about it. He's a good guy, though.
In some of the earlier scenes, what was it like playing with Keith Mars? I don't know if that's his actual name.
I think Rico and I, he was like kind of like my acting guy to go to on the show, like when we were all down there, you know. And he's very good, that guy, very good. He just teaches me things, and so we never really had a lot of scenes together on the screen or whatever, but just to like work it out with him. And when he was on Just Shoot Me, which is a great show, and he was very funny and it's a comedy, but he'd take like one paycheck every year and put on a play. And he'd just do a play. He came from big theater, so it was cool to work with him in that way. And you know, we'd always just kind of wind up talking about acting or whatever, you know. And when we did have a scene together, it was just kind of tense or whatever, you know. It's great. It's very caring. He was like all of our dad. Yeah.
Hey, from what I hear about with voice acting for games, you sort of just stand in a dark booth and just hold your lines. Did you know, while you were recording for Kingdom Hearts, that you were working with people like Christopher Lee and Leonard Nimoy?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that those guys do a lot of good. They're great voices.
Also, would you consider coming back to Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could do those noises all day, man. Yeah, it was cool, and I didn't know quite how big it was until afterward, you know, that it was such a big change.
Yeah, I only discovered Veronica Mars recently, but I played that game years ago. I had no idea that you did it. But yeah, thanks.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Hi. How are you?
Hey, good.
Good. I'm from Perth as well. We flew here. I was just wondering if there was a chance we'd come back to Australia and fly to Perth, which is the other side of the country. So it's like coming here, but further.
I don't know. You'll have to ask the guys here if they have me.
3 hours. It's only 3 hours further. It's not that much longer.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we have time for one last question.
All right.
So someone has
Who's
to
going
be
to be?
ready.
Dead guy?
question over here.
Hi, Jason.
Hi.
What can we expect or look forward to that might be coming up that you can actually tell us about?
I did a golf movie that sounds boring unless you play golf, and it'll be rad. And then I just did a movie for Hallmark where I got to play a single dad of an 8-year-old girl. It was rad. And more rad stuff. Yeah, hopefully another show. You know, it's so cool to be a part of this. Thank you. Thank you.